All right, right now we are just weeks away from the first day of school. If you're a parent, you know this. If you're a teacher, you know this. Your kids may be spending more time online or on their smartphones.
But a new global study is sounding the alarm on how smartphone use may be impacting kids' mental health, especially when the phone use starts before the age of 13. Our Jalissa Garza joins us now once again in studio. And Jalissa, you've been looking into this study. So what kind of effects are these researchers seeing with all of this?
Well, it's not just about screen time, which we know all of us have a lot of screen time and so do kids. But the concern here, it's what comes with social media, which is cyberbullying, pressure to constantly stay connected, and as well as social media. So experts say parents should keep in mind that kids under 13 may be especially vulnerable. Now, new research looked at nearly 2 million people in more than 160 countries and found a clear link between early smartphone use and mental health struggles in preteens. The biggest impacts were seen in young girls with issues like low self-worth, poor emotional regulation, and even suicidal thoughts. Researchers say for every year before age 13 that a child gets a smartphone, their mental health tends to decline, possibly due to things like sleep disruption, online bullying, and social comparison.
So this study is a correlational study, and we can't say whether cell phone or smartphone use causes the mental health effects that are noted in the study, but we have a number of data points now that many researchers have found that do say that cell phone or smartphone use before the age of 13 is detrimental for the mental health of preteens.
Now, the psychologist you just heard from encourages parents to lean on their community. She suggests talking with other families, especially those of your child's friends, to get on the same page about when kids will get smartphones or start using social media. And while you can't prevent every exposure online, coming together as a group may help kids feel less left out, especially when it comes to things like delayed phone access or limited social media use. Now, this doesn't mean to panic, but it doesn't mean that parents should have some honest and open conversations with their kids and just take a look also at how your family uses tech, because it's not just kids that have a lot of screen time, it's adults too.
It really is, but I tell you what, my son's 9, he does not have a phone and we're waiting as long as we can, but kids talk about social media at school too. I caught my son the other day saying he looked fat in the mirror. I said, excuse me, you are 9 years old, you are beautiful, you are not fat, and where did you hear this from? And he said, oh, kids, we're talking about social media and, comparing themselves to the picture. So it's gonna happen either way, but if you can limit it at home.
I think leaning on like groups is good, because I remember when I first got my cell phone, it was a pink Razor. I think I was like 10, 11 years old, but there wasn't Instagram and Facebook and things like that. It was mainly text mom and dad, text my brother, come pick me up. I'm home from the school bus, I'm at the school bus stop, come pick me up, things like that. But I remembered other kids who didn't have phones yet. And there is a little isolated feeling. So I can only imagine that's worse now when you have social media that ties into having the phone.
One of the things that helped us is when our oldest daughter wanted a phone but didn't have one, and we would ask her questions about what that was like and with her friends, she started to notice on her own that some of her peers were so addicted to their phones they could not have a normal conversation. So she was recognizing a positive. Now she has a phone now, but I don't know, just instead of trying to tell her or give her all of the information, she's got a brain. She can figure out some of this if we will encourage that, if we will encourage the critical thinking. I've noticed that helping
conversation helped.
That's
so again, it's that tip of having
Yeah.
those conversations at home to just get it started. My parents had conversations with us at a young age, and we weren't even, Instagram came out when I was in 10th grade. So, but we didn't have that. Some kids, they have it since they're in elementary.
And you realize how lucky you are to have grown up without any of that. You just have to have the conversation, and we don't judge other parents. I mean, a lot of times some parents have no choice but to use the social media as a babysitter. I wouldn't do that, but they maybe work from home, things like that. So just as long as it's a open conversation with both parents and the kids involved.
Yeah, thankfully now we have study now to show us, because we talk about this all the time, but now we have research to kind of back everything up.
And a couple of states, I think,
affecting mental health though.
They're not letting kids earlier than 13 even have social media. I think in Utah they passed a law. I don't know if they tried to pass one here, but there's someone trying to make it against the law. You just can't unless you're both parents Or,
If it's affecting their brain, you understand why there's laws,
Yeah.
you know?
right.
Quite the talker, right?
Yeah.
Very
All
much
right,
so,
Jalissa.
Jalissa. Thank you for the good information. All right, we turn